I don't really like ugly Christmas sweaters, but this one is cool. Slayer, you know? Hardcore to the paint, man. Happy holidays, guys. It's Christmas time. Merry Christmas. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming back. So, Christmas time is here. It's time to cuddle up. I hope we got all of our presents. If not, you have until December 24th. Literally Christmas Eve. It's okay if you're a late shopper. I do it all the time. You know, you just gotta rush in, rush out. You know, the Grinch and The Grinch Stole Christmas, I understand why he did what he did. Okay, he didn't like people. He said, y'all are musty and dusty. Nobody ever treated him right. Okay, he didn't have time for stupidity. And he decided, instead of actually being a nice person, I'm gonna just flip it and just steal everybody's gifts and do it myself, okay? Treat myself since nobody wanna treat me, all right? And I like that logic. Even though at the end, he ends up becoming a good guy. You know, he ends up giving the Christmas back and, you know, holiday this, holiday that. But I like that he took the time to take care of himself, okay? Because trust no one. So if you don't know, one of my favorite things to do is watch scandals. I love watching documentaries. I love watching things about crime, okay? And it's the holiday time. So crime is at an uprise high, all right? There's one person in particular that I watched a documentary on that I feel like she is perfect for the holidays, okay? She is the Mrs. Professor Finesser. She is the Grinch that stole Christmas and more, a lot more. And today I wanted to do a little deep dive. I want to do a little biopic on Miss Anna Sorkin, okay? AKA the grifter of the griftess, okay? The Miss Professor Finesser, AKA the Grinch S. She really was out here stealing everybody's money, gift, time, assets, just a lot. And let's get into her.
She has 2 Fendi purses and a silver Lexus.
I hear her hair is insured for $10,000.
I hear she does car commercials in Japan. Her favorite movie is Varsity Blues.
One time she met John Stamos on a plane and he told her she was pretty.
One time she punched me in the face. It was awesome.
So Anna Sorkin was born in Russia, but she grew up in Germany, in Eschweiler, Germany? See if I'm check the notes. She grew up in a small town of Eschweiler, Germany. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Her father tried to open up an executive company, and then it was a dub. And then they grew up in hard times, really strung on poverty during that time. And at the age of 18, she said, you know what? I'm out. I don't know y'all no more. Emancipation. She left and she ran. She kind of like estranged from her family. She really was like, I don't know y'all. And she moved to Paris, where she started being an intern at this fashion company called Purple, which is like chic. It's very high end. And that's where she kind of birthed into the world of fashion. Now, growing up, she was really conservative. She was really by herself. She really didn't have that many friends. It's also stated that she was really socially awkward. I feel like she was that type of kid, you said hi and she might like deck you in the face, or she might try to spit on you. And I know those are aggressive vibes, but like when you look at her face, it really is a person of just kind of like, why are you here? Why are you in my space? What do you want? After working at her internship in Purple, she realized that she wanted even more new heights. So then she moved to New York. And that is where the madness began. So when Anna moved to New York, she moved into Manhattan, okay? Miss Girl, she wanted to start out right, okay? There was no creep my way into Brooklyn. She wanted to go into where it was booked and busy. When she finally moved to New York, that is where she changed her whole name, identity, persona. She essentially ditched her old self to become her new self, which was Anna Delvey. Now, Anna Delvey was a German heiress that came from money, okay? Like white, wealthy, old type money. The type of money where it's like you live in a house inside of a house, you have maids, you never had to cook a meal a day in your life. It was just, she had the Guapanese. That is the only type of language she spoke, okay? She said, I don't speak to you broke bitches, which is something she has actually said to people. She moved to New York, where she wanted to become presumably into the fashion world, and she wanted to be a socialite and really just get into the rich crowd. But really, to be quite honest with you, the way that she really got in was through her Instagram. It was very flashy. It was your typical going around traveling, taking pictures at expensive restaurants, wearing Versace, your typical selfie in the bed at like your New York apartment that costs like $4,000 and it's the size of a broom closet, but make it fashion, okay? And a lot of people, when they decided they wanted to jump in and do business with her, it's quoted that a lot of people looked at her Instagram and that was just enough security to know that she was really about that life. She was about the money, which is questionable in itself, but you know, that's just how I guess rich people work. You know, can you hire me based off of my Instagram, please? When she moved to New York, she continued to work underneath Purple, but her intention was really to get in with as many rich people as she could. She really just turned from like Susie Salmon to like Effie from Skins. She did like a whole 360, you know, with the tax fraud included. You know, the story plays out. Comes full circle, babes. Comes full circle, babes. The thing was just to be like an Instagram model by day and a socialite by night. She really got into the crowd. She really ended up being with like just a bunch of these rich people. I'm talking about like trust fund babies who have never worked a job a day in their life, who have like 5 cars but no license, has somebody cooking for them and they can probably only thing they can do is like boil water. Just real like hard things that are for rich people that, you know, us common folk got to do for everyday living. You know, if we want to survive in this thing we call Earth, in this cardboard cutout country of what we call America. One goal that she had was being a fashion designer and working on her own project, which eventually is called the ADF, which was the Anna Devley Foundation, which really meant not a foundation for art, but a foundation for herself and her pockets. Even though she gained all of this attraction and agency, she didn't have any actual wealth. In her circle, she had the McDonald's money, okay? Everybody else had the Black American Express card. My sis over here struggling with just the Visa debit, okay? It may look like her pockets are eating cheesecake, but they're really on a diet, okay? Maybe 3 square meals a day, maybe. And she was out here trying to be a 7-meal course. So it was time to get down to the finessing. So in comes Abby Rosen, Richie Notar, and Rue Rogers, who are like your typical white men on Wall Street, your typical real estate moguls, you know, the bosses that got to do a line just before the morning meeting, you know, get pumped up, get ready for another day of swindling money from good-hearted people in New York City. But essentially, these 3 men were very interested in what Anna had to offer, which was nothing, but they didn't know that yet. I love the consistency of just how much of a fog that she put in front of people. She is literally the one partner in the group project that didn't do anything, but said one thing, and that is their input, but made it their project when it comes time for presentation. The front runner said, this is what we did. This is what I did, even though we did nothing, which means y'all did all the work and I'm just here to put my name on it. So for them, Anna, she served the right amount of mystery. She served the right amount of royalty. I mean, she was a German heiress. From what type of wealth, we don't know. Do we care? Not really. All it's just because she takes great photos. You're telling me if you take a great photo of your avocado toast, I could be the next billionaire. That's what you're telling me. That's all that it takes to qualify. The bar is literally, it's not there. You can take a picture of the bar and you can get the executive position. But for them, Anna, she served as just like the picture perfect new thing on the street. They liked her accent, to which, to be quite honest with you, this has been noted with every person that has encountered with her. They cannot identify what her accent is. They just know that it's cool and mysterious and that it's not a scam. But because she had no actual foundation, she had to work on the one thing that she knew would swindle all rich people, and that's being pretentious. Fake it until you make it, and there you go.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
As I mentioned before, the reason why Anna really moved to New York was that she wanted to create her own name in the fashion industry and really in the art world. She wanted to create her own foundation. And how humble and philanthropic of her to create a foundation named only after her. The ADF Foundation, the Anna Delvey Foundation. Just so humble and philanthropic about naming something of yourself. And she wanted to get a building and kind of rent it out and do this kind of futuristic, Soho-ish place where she can curate art and do, lavish fashion pieces. But sis ain't had no money. She ain't have no coin. So she went into the social circles of a lot of rich people and through her connections to get people on her plan, to really get people to invest and get their money for her, not for the art. I have here in my notes just like the list of victims and the list of people who essentially got grinched by Delvey. So the first person that she connected out to or really invested to was Mark Kremers. He's the owner of Future Corp, which is a company that was scammed by Anna. Essentially, he would create the branding for her company, creating the look, the style, creating the symbol, doing graphic design, really kind of creating the name and the face so that it could get out there to other investors. Mark spent, I want to say, probably like 3 months with Anna, if not more, on kind of deliberating and going over what the whole foundation was supposed to look like. And eventually they did get to a point of agreement and things were going great, but here was the problem. He ain't get paid. And at first he casually took it like, oh, I'll just send her the invoice. And maybe the invoice got lost in her spam mail, or maybe she was so busy. But as time progressed, he had rent to pay and he had employees to pay. And so in total, Anna owed him 17,000 pounds, which is in American dollars, 22,539. And that's just in the work along with business fees. His company almost went bankrupt and she lied about the checks that she was waiting from her bank, I guess to transfer or whatever would have you, to be stuck in the post, which I'm presuming is like stuck in the mail. But here's the thing, she never sent them. So Mark began sleuthing into the Googles and he started to really kind of figure out who Anna was. And amazing as it is, he did not find any information about her. Very few to very little. And I think the fact that because when she moved over here, she controlled the narrative. She probably deleted everything that was associated with her real name, Sorkin, and just mashed it over that her new life started in New York as Delvey. But he eventually found out her real name to be Anna Sorkin, and I guess he was just really surprised that she was able to gain such business and traction with very little information about her and really kind of create a business without actually having the foundation and or documentation of creating a business. Because in business, it's all about what you sell, not what you are. The next person that we have is Ella D, which I like that name, Ed for short. Ella D, she is a DJ. She's really cool. She's the only person that I really like throughout this documentary because she sensed the bullshit from the jump a little bit, but she had confirmation as time went on and she completely cut her off. She also did not appreciate how snobbish she was in her attitude, and she really was like, just, this girl is weird, okay? She's not fashionable, she's just weird, y'all. Like, she is the true seeker. I like her. So Ella met Anna at Surf Lodge. She was DJing at a party event, which is on the beach. And the first thing that Ella knew from the jump is that something was up with sis, because Anna rolled up to the beach in a bright pink dress. Rich people things, you feel me? And one thing that she didn't appreciate was how conceited she was, the fact that she was just very stuck up and snobbish. Ella noticed that somebody gave her a compliment and they said, oh, I like her dress. And this was her response: Balenciaga. And that was it. If somebody asked me, hey, I like your hoodie, it's RJ. Walk away, that's it. She said, I don't speak broke to you bum bitches, okay? It's only Guapanese around here, allegedly. Did she even buy that dress? I feel like she might have just plucked and walked out. However, the Balenciaga wasn't enough to keep her warm at night, because Ella noticed the next day when she walked out that sis was sleeping in the car in the Balenciaga pink dress, just laying there, mouth open, just bruh. Ellie also met her again at Fashion Week in Paris. She went to a party of hers, which was stale as crackers, maybe even worse. It just filled with a bunch of people that did not care about her, probably didn't know her name. It was just like a rich people thing, and she kind of like dipped out, you know? And the next day, Anna called her with a sob story about her card being declined and asked her to pay the bill, which was $35,000 in euros, which is approximately $3,946.28 in the Oost. And baby, she cried like it was supposed to be a casual favor. Ella said no, and Anna just said, I never heard from her ever again. You can't lend me $4,000? But we're friends, okay? We met on the beach. You saw me in my Balenciaga. So the next person that we have is Neff. Neff is your typical average hardworking girl in Manhattan. She actually met her at the hotel that she was staying at, which was Howard 11. It's a gentrified hotel in Soho where white people can pretend to live in poverty and be aesthetic about it. But at the time, it was the brand new hotel. It's the new thing. It was the new place that all the socialites had to go for their Instagram likes to really build up the profile. And Anna had just the beautiful privilege of staying there, which she did for free. But we'll get to that later. So Neff was a concierge that essentially became a resource for Anna and kind of somewhat of a friend. Do I say a friend? Does she even really have friends? We'll say an acquaintance. Neff essentially talked to this woman every single day. She realized that she kind of just used Neff for knowing the new things that are happening in New York, getting new connections, and in exchange for Neff's time, she would pay her $100 in tips. Now, that seems pretty cool, but what started as a good thing led into just a crazy mass of essentially her not paying the bill at staying at Howard 11 and using tip money for Neff and all the other employees there to kind of gain favor, to say, well, you know, no, I'm not paying this time, but here's $100. Add that to my bill. Neff is also one of the only people that kind of saw how she actually spent her money. You're probably wondering, how does one person who has so much luxury, who owns Balenciaga, who has all of this money and time to travel and take pictures and do all of this, like, how does she do it? Well, if she's not declining her credit card, she pays in cash, which is exactly what she did for everything that she did while staying at Howard 11. Also, side note, instead of actually living in an actual place in New York, the only way that she was able to finesse this whole operation is that she lived in a hotel. And I don't know if that speaks money, or does it speak curiosity? Does it speak a little bit of balling on a broke budget? Neff also got the inside scoop about how she was moogling off of all her other rich friends. She would ask her rich friends for favors. And when I mean favors, it was like, hey, we're going on a flight. You mind just putting that on your bill, babes? You know, just a solid $3,000. I'll pay you back. $1,000 in Uber and taxi fees. You mind just covering that for me? I promise you I will pay you back. You know how it is. You know, rich people things. There are countless of stories of people who were her friends, or I guess who were around her, that essentially paid on their credit card bills for her to have these flights, to have these vacations, to buy all this stuff, and that never got paid back. That she ultimately forgot about paying back the money. You know, so rich that she was so busy and she just had so much money, she lost track of it. Negative plus a negative equals a positive. And when you have negative money plus negative money, well, the positive is that you get no money. So she was doing her math correct. She had all the math correct on her books. Last but not least, we have her only friend. I'm gonna say her only friend. Her only friend who was considered, I guess in her mind, to be her best friend, Rachel Williams. So Rachel was a writer for Vanity Fair. And she discovered Anna on Instagram. She liked how her Instagram was neat and petite and cute and relatable, just like her. They met at a place called Happy Ending. And she believed, the lie about Anna's inheritance money, how she was a German heiress, and she's in here for fashion, and she's a lover of art and travel. She also noticed that being Anna's friend, how she always had to display her wealth to the highest degree. So, they go out for coffee, and Sis is in a regular jacket and jeans, and she comes out in whole Versace, and essentially looks at her and calls her broke bum. And that's her joking way of being friends with her. It's just a joke. She also was the only other person, I believe, in her social circle that knew that Anna only lived in luxury hotels, that she really did not have a place to live, which I'm gonna say consider her to be. She's actually homeless, homeless with temporary places of staying. So here we have the infamous trip to Morocco that Anna offered to take Rachel to. It was like, hey, you're my bestie, let's go on a bestie vacation. Trips on me, everything's on me. Highest degree of flying a private jet, having the best of the best, the cream of the crop, creme de la creme, baby. She said, I'm gonna treat you because you my bestie. The only person that will take up with her being in the Balenciaga. So they went to a hotel and they checked into the hotel called the Mamma Mia. Now, Anna went on this trip in inspiration from Khloe Kardashian. So it's like a top tier hotel, okay? It's like the creme de la creme, baby, okay? Sparkling water that probably costs $300. And that's only for an 8-ounce bottle, okay? Real life things. During their time to the market, she picked out $1,300 worth of dresses that she could not pay. Access denied, okay? The bank said, do not pass go. Do not collect the $200. And Rachel ended up covering the bill, which is red flag number 1, all right? Then the next day, they went out to the mountains, which is the only thing that she could afford, which is free air and scenery. And when they got back to the hotel, the staff there was waiting for them. Okay, like how your mom waits for you when you get that call from school from that one teacher, okay, that told the rap on everything that not only you've been doing for the day, bud, for the whole semester, okay? She found out that you forged all the signatures. You changed your grade? Oh, you've been talking in the back of the class? That's exactly how they were waiting, hands folded and everything. They asked if she had a functional credit card, and her response was just... And in total, Rachel paid for the trip, the whole trip for Morocco. She looked at Rachel and she said, well, babes, can you cover this? You mind just footing the bill? I promise to pay you back. And in total, the trip to Morocco was a smooth, solid $62,000 that she put on the company credit card, okay? Not even her money, it was company money. It was a bestie IOU that never got paid back. In total, she got paid back $5,000. And I believe that's just the maintenance fee of just being friends with Anna Delvey. So one of the main things that Anna needed in order to really build up the ADF foundation was to secure a building. Now, she was able to finesse with one real estate mogul who goes by the name of Gabriel Calatrava. He's one of the sons of a famous architect of Santiago. He helped her secure the lease on good faith and I guess the building of their relationship and of friendship. She informed people of the space already before actually kind of securing the lease. And the Church Mission House, it's a famous landmark, famous piece in history, and it really serves as an aesthetic in the world of art and fashion. However, there's also another little problem. We need a $25 million loan in order to really secure the space. And it's like, And that loan is a little too big for her bridges. Now, this is no going on a trip, spending $3,000 to $5,000. This is not even going on a shopping spree and spending $7,000 to $8,000 or even $13,000 on the dresses like she has done before. This is big boy money. This is like 3 times worth her inheritance type money. And no amount of Balenciaga is going to help get these funds. So she took advice from one of her friends, and she was able to get with another real estate guy who goes by the name of Andy Lance. And Lance put her in touch with several financial institutions, like big game financial institutions, who have, I believe, like their money in every real estate known to man, at least here in the US. Includes the Los Angeles-based City National Bank and the Fortress Investment Group. Lance wrote an email in which he explained Anna needed the loan because her personal assets, which are quite substantial, are located outside the US. Some of them in trust with UBS outside the US. And the monies that she received added would be fully secured by a letter of credit from the Swiss bank. Now, here's the thing. They legit asked, well, are you from the UBS? And she said, no, ma'am. But you can talk to my family lawyer, and he takes care of all of my information and all of my monies, which was a red flag for them, which also meant they know that she was a little bit of a scammer, or something wasn't adding up. They said, well, she looks like money, but she ain't speaking the money. You heard? And in short, they denied her request, to which Anna explained that it was a management decision. That management, it's just a little disagreement on fraud. just a little miscommunication. And it became a problem because all of the other investors that kind of invested into the company early on, kind of like angel investors or seed investors, they also were asking, well, where is the money? Spend some time. Just need to see the graph, okay? Just need to see where the progress is going. And she had none. Her own debt was also catching up to her as well. She went out to dinner with Neff one day, and all of her credit cards, all 12 of them, baby, got denied. Like, just stop it. They said, stop it. We tired. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore, Grandpa. She said, well, that's too damn bad. Okay, we got to be scamming in order to be scamming. She didn't care. She ran them credit cards up and tired, okay? Strip falling off, plastic cracking. It was rough out them. It's a hard not life for them. Neff had to ended up paying for the bill, which ended up being, like $286. But like, that's also a red flag because, that's peasant money to her. So it was definitely, adding up. Not long after, the manager of Howard 11 called Neff and decided to discuss, a little bit of a delicate issue with her friend. They realized that they didn't have an actual credit card on file for Anna. Because the hotel was so new, and because when she arrived, she said that she wasn't staying for a long time, and because she was a client of Abby Rosen and be considered a very valued guest, they decided that, she'll be all right and she'll pay the money back. She's good for it. But a month and a half later, the monies wasn't coming in, and it ended up being a $30,000 bill, to which she ain't have it. And when Neff came to approach her and ask her about the money, Sis just handled a bottle of Dom Perignon and said, yes. Eventually, Citibank sent over the money for the hotel bill, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. This essentially started the unraveling of the scam of what she was doing. She moved into the Beekman Hotel, and she played the same game of staying at Howard 11, essentially bribing the staff, not really having an actual valid credit card on file, but still somewhat was able to stay there because of her ambiance and her presence and wearing the Balenciaga. She was charged with theft from 11 Hotel and the Beekman Hotel. She cried to her friends trying to receive money from her rich friends, just another loan, just another little IOU, but no one came to her rescue. She had the audacity to go back to Rachel, and Rachel had the audacity to pick up the phone. That's the other thing. Because let me tell you something. $63,000 on a corporate credit card, that's it. I'm cutting you off. I don't know you, bro. Who is she? She called up Rachel, and she also called up like a personal trainer, life coach that she also bamboozled and scammed, asking for help. And she said, I'm gonna be good for the money, okay? She said once the foundation is built, she'll be able to pay everyone back, okay? That in itself sounds like money laundering and tax evasion, but we don't care about that now, okay? I'm gonna pay you back, okay, through the foundation money. But little did she know, Miss Ma'am, the church building was already rented out by somebody else. And she said, ¿Por qué? Come again? She thought that she could have it on lock and hold. I guess because, you know, she's Anna Delvey, you know? But the church missions, they had a mission, okay? And that mission was to get paid. So they found somebody else who could fit into that mission statement. As it turned out, her hotel bills was just like the baby steps of what she did in fraud. And everything began to unravel in November 2016. After she submitted documents claiming a net worth of $60 million in Swiss banks accounts to the National City Bank in pursuit of the $25 million loan. The following month, she submitted the same documents to Fortress in an attempt to secure a $25 to $35 million loan. After Citibank asked her for $100,000 to perform due diligence, she convinced somebody at the National City Bank, a representative, mind you, to extend her $100,000 line of credit, which she then wired to Fortress, the other bank. Then Fortress got spooked because they were like, that's a little fast, that's a little concerning. They sent out representatives to check her assets at the Swiss bank account, and she withdrew from the process halfway through. And she wired a remaining $55,000 to Citibank to say, hey, this is just, you know, a little bit of a proof, just a little extra credit, babe. And then in April, she deposited another $160,000 worth of all bad checks into the same account. And then she managed to withdraw $70,000 from that before they were returned, which is how she managed to pay off her debt from 11 Howard. So in total, she did a scam on a scam on top of a scam. I borrow money from you to wire to somebody else and through bad checks before they process. Psych! Take it out so I can use it for me, but still give you some a little bit on the side. And then she said it's all full circle, babes. It'll all just work out. It's all in my trust fund money. What's also worse is any of the wire transfers that she's ever done in life, which was with Rachel, through other business entrepreneurs, anybody who had connections with her, they were all phony receipts and she all forged them. Her family advisor, which was Peter, he went by the name of Peter W. Hennick. He was a fictional character, okay? Mans was not even real. His cell phone number belonged to a defect burner phone that now belongs to a supermarket. She said, we all got it together. Okay, oh, he's just on vacation. By the way, his daughter was sick. My family advisor, who had no family or no one. If all else fails, you know, she could just be a photographer or an IG model, you know? Still the same thing, still scamming, but it's a little less low key, you know, not so much on grand larceny and theft. And you can just be scamming people who are idiots enough for free. Gotta work smarter, not harder. I mean, she did work pretty smart and kind of hard. What really served as the nail in the coffin for Anna is that while she was being charged with these misdemeanor charges from her fraudulent charges with the banks and the hotels, sis was still out here scamming. Okay, she's just addicted to it. She said, ain't nothing gonna stop me from wearing the Prada, the Balenciaga, all right? Even jail charges, it doesn't matter. She made a planned trip out to California where she deposited another 2 bad checks, which totaled in like $8,000 and some change. She hopped on the plane, I'm sorry, private jet, okay? Even first class is just, it speaks of bumminess, okay? It just speaks of brokenness. Bums try to touch me, ew. She said, no, thank you. All right. Hopped on the private jet and landed back into New York where they were outside waiting for her again. Part 2. And in New York, she was charged with 6 counts of grand larceny and attempting grand larceny in addition to theft of services, according to the indictment. And she is now serving her sentence in Rikers Island. Comfortably, might I add you. It's an all expense paid vacation. She even quoted about her stay at Riker Island, saying that this place is not bad at all, actually. Anna told me, eyes sparkling behind her Celine glasses, even in jail. She said, I still gotta look like the pretty bitch that I am, okay? Even in jail, she's saying I still have money more than all of you. People seem to think that it's horrible, but I see it as like this sociological experiment where she can tell other people how rich she is, even though she's wearing an orange jumpsuit and eats dry boxed, wet, cat looking food. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me if you want to see more videos like this. I just like delving into the deep, dark world of scamming and people doing crime and just, you know, kind of getting away with it. And Adelvi, you know, I give my props to you. You know, shout out to you. You really made a whole lie. You know, it worked. It worked. She finessed just a lot of dumb people with a lot of money, which really means that it's not that hard as you think to really secure the bag by any means necessary. Maybe if she was just a little bit more smarter, or maybe if you just had a little bit more credit cards, or maybe if you weren't just such a dick. If you're nice about it, you would get away with it. That's what I'm learning. And maybe if she just did her maths more correctly, you always got to do the math. See, math always comes back. If she did her maths more correctly, I'm pretty sure she could have got away with it. Don't come and knock on my door, FBI. I promise you, I pay my taxes, unlike she did. Okay, she didn't even pay her credit card statement. I do the bare minimum. You know, don't be on my back. You know, chill out. All right, that is the Grinch missus that stole all the Christmases and then some. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.